Brady's already done these, but we would like to thank the sponsors, and it's absolutely brilliant. I don't think these events could take place if it wasn't for the sponsors, so thank you indeed. What I want to do now is introduce Gordon Brady, who is the Senior Business Partnership Manager at the University of Bedfordshire. And there it is.
Thank you very much. Okay, a few quick questions. Which half of the room is better looking? Are you that half of the room? Very quiet, obviously not convinced. Are you the better looking half of the room? I might talk to these guys unless you guys are still awake. Okay, Freddie talked about you being part of the environment in SEMLEP. Do we know what SEMLEP is? Does anybody know? Yes, South East Midlands Local Enterprise Partnership. So this is the area kind of Luton, right the way up to Kettering, Corby, Northampton, and across to Aylesbury Vale, and across to the other end of central Bedfordshire. How many businesses are in SEMLEP? Take a guess. Anyone? Take a guess. Take a number. Any number. 8,000. Higher or lower? Higher. 100,000? Higher or lower than 100,000? I'll tell you, it's 83,000 businesses on your doorstep. If you don't know, you're probably looking in the wrong place for your customer. Following up from what David said very, very clearly, know your market, solve a problem. Number of people I get that come to us and say, oh, I've got this great idea for a thing. Well done. No, you haven't. And the reason they think they've got a great idea is they say, oh look, I've got this idea for hats. There's 68 million people in the UK and all of them have heads. And if only 1% of them wear hats, then it's great, I've got a business. They don't have a problem that they need to wear a hat for. If they're working on a building site, they need a hard hat. You're solving a problem. So the size of your market is who's got the problem? Where's the pain point that you're solving? So I'm going to ask you another question. What's the size of the UK's GDP? How much is it worth in pound notes? How much do we produce as a country? Any ideas?
2.6 trillion.
Pretty close. That's the closest answer I've ever had. Ever. 2.1 trillion in 2018. 2.1 trillion. We invest 1.7% in research and development for people like you guys. That's pathetic. The UK is 1.7%. The target is 2.4%. All across Europe, it's 2.4%. A couple of years ago, they said, we need to get to 2.4%. This is where this alphas thing comes in that I'll tell you about. But 2.4% of £2.1 trillion is quite a lot of money. It's not all coming from government, it's you're putting in money, government wants to help. Don't put it all in yourself. David here, he's coming along and he's got 50 quid notes falling out of his pocket, just throwing cash at you, that's great. But he'd be a lot happier if you're saying, I've got a business idea and I can bring some funding with it myself, and that's where this alphas thing comes in. So, 4 bits of advice. First bit of advice is not instruction. Take the bits out of this that you need and ignore the rest. Second bit of advice, see if you can find a way, because you're a startup business, so is everybody else. Your business is going to do things that are very similar to a lot of other people. See if you can find some way or think of some way to stand out, even though you're doing the same as everybody else. Any ideas? It is quite possible to do. Third bit of advice, if you're seeking for investment, whatever it is, the third bit of advice is genuine. Take this piece of advice. Solve the problem. Define the problem, solve the problem. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, you're coming up with an idea that nobody needs. If you invent Facebook for left-handed Lithuanian saxophone players, that's great. Nobody cares. And the fourth bit of advice is where alphas comes in. I'm going to ask for someone to join me at the moment. Chris, would you come up and join me? Because alphas is part of 2 projects that kind of go together. I'll very quickly tell you about accelerating leadership and productivity in higher performance SMEs. But there's a partner project that goes with it called Time to Grow, which is where my partner comes in.
Hello everyone. Yeah. Hi. Yes, Time to Grow is a programme where we've got some funding from the European Social Fund to support graduates to come and work in your business. We actually take the pain of employing them ourselves, and the funding that we've got allows them to work in your business for up to 280 hours, bringing you a cost to you of about £5.30 per hour for a graduate to actually work in your business. So that's just one of the initiatives that we're able to offer at the University of Bedfordshire. follow on from there, we have alphas, which you can then move your graduate into the alphas program.
This is Ant and Dec in 10 years' time. Okay, so it's not one of our graduates. It's any graduate from any university anywhere in the country in the last 5 years. They can have graduated at any level. If you need a person to do marketing, if you need a person to do HR, social media strategy, develop your electronics, if you need someone who can do Java programming, it doesn't matter. We don't care. We want you to get richer. It's as simple as that. So, it's your first employee. It's a bit difficult. You haven't done that before. We'll take that pain. We'll hire them. They come and work for you. They do what you tell them, when you tell them, away you go. 280 hours. We pay 60% of the cost. We'll bill you for 40% of the cost. They get paid £13 an hour. You're not looking for, some idiot just off the street. You're not looking for people like me. You're looking for clever people instead. They'll come in, they'll do 280 hours, and hopefully that solved your first problems. But maybe you've got something a bit bigger than that. Maybe you need a bit more help. And that's where Alphas comes in. So Alphas, we can give you free workshops with us in pretty much whatever you need. Generally about being more productive, how to get more value from the investment that you're putting in, but also a bit of leadership skills, because you might be a techie who doesn't know how to run a company. We can help you with that. You might be a leader who doesn't know the techie side. We'll give you some stuff in digital technologies. We'll do HR and marketing, finance, whatever you need. Doesn't matter. That's all free. We'll then give you a graduate. Now this time, you hire the graduate, but we'll pay 60% of their cost for 400 hours. That's not a bad little deal. 400 hours, you start thinking, well, actually, 37 hours a week. You're getting another 3 months out of that. We'll also give you part of that 400 hours, we'll give you access to one of our academics for, I don't know, a couple of hours at the beginning, a couple of hours after the first couple of weeks, a couple of hours after the second, so that the graduate's got someone to go to if they hit a problem. Your fund pack. There's also a grant, 30%. So you think, okay, I'm going to have to buy in this thing and that thing and then whatever else it is. If you're going to be buying in £10,000 worth of stuff, let us give you a grant of 30% towards it. Okay, so now I've only spent 7,000. Or, well, I was going to spend the 10,000 anyway. Maybe I'll have £10,000 to do that, and I'll use someone like Freddie for advice, or I'll ask David for some advice, or I'll ask Henry over there for some advice, or don't ask me, I know nothing. Ask some clever people. They're going to cost you another £2,000. All right, well now your project's £12,000. 30% discount off £12,000. You're back down below the 10 grand you were going to spend anyway. Does this sound like a sensible way to go forward? We don't want shares in your company. We don't want your IP. We don't want to base you in our organisation. We just want you to go out, be rich, be successful, because what will happen in the end is you will end up employing more graduates, more of our graduates, and using more of our academic expertise, more of our research to help you get richer. We grow the local economy, everybody makes squillions of pounds, which is enough to keep Freddie in coffee for nearly half the morning. I've got nothing else to say. If you've got questions, if they're difficult questions, please direct them to Chris.
Yeah,
if they're really easy questions, come and see me.
I will leave some leaflets at the end for anybody that wants to find out a bit more about Alphas and Time to Grow.
And other than that, thank you very much. You've been wonderful. And actually, I think you were the better looking. You were just a bit shocked. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much indeed, and thank you, David, for the change of name. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's absolute. What a very good choice that was indeed.